Larry, Fort Worth Memories Museum and Groups. Trying to find the live feed. Should have gotten a notification, but I didn't. Just now. Okay, here we go. Yeah, now it's sending me the notification. This will take a couple of seconds, or a few seconds. Gonna be another beautiful day out there today. Not too hot. Saturday or Sunday it's supposed to get up to the 90s, I believe. Okay, so today is Friday. April the 11th, right? Yeah, April the 11th. Okay, there's that part of it. I'm gonna like it, tell everybody good morning. And we're going to share it. I don't know if it'll let me share it. To the internet. And to memories and live videos. James is in, Colin's in, Brittany, Marilyn, and I thought I said good morning. I guess I did. No, I didn't send it. Okay. What's going on this weekend? The Arts Fest. And I'm still not sure, is that two of them or one of them? I know there's always been one forever. And then Sasha started another one. This one is called the Fort Worth Art Fair. But it says it's in Sundance, so I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable enough to talk about it. So anyway, but that started yesterday, and it goes through Sunday. So I don't know if you can ride a bus down there or what, but there's parking will be very limited. Also, the Tarrant County Historical Commission, which I'm now a part of, is having a tour of the 1895 courthouse, starting at 12:30 to 3:30. Now that's the third courthouse that we had. The first courthouse was built in 1866, and it burned 10 years later in 1876. And they claimed that everything was destroyed. Well, that's not true, because I actually have some stuff that were in that courthouse that I paid highly for. So not everything burned, but a lot of the records did burn. On the same location, they started a second courthouse. It kind of got up and running. It never was adequate. It wasn't big enough, and they demolished it in 1890. So the third courthouse, which is the one we have now, was started construction 1893 and was completed in 1895, open for business. So talking about records out of that courthouse, what happened to the records between the time they stopped using the second courthouse and opening the third? Because I've got the voter registration books from 1890 to 1900, I paid $3,500 a piece for them, so that's $75,000. There's 20 of them, and other things. Leases that the city doesn't own. I don't know how it came out of there, but I bought a lot of that stuff on a Christie's auction. In fact, when Mike was the mayor, he was picking up a car for Rosie, or one of his cars, detail, and I showed him some of those voter registration books, and he saw where they were stamped City of Fort Worth, County of Tarrant, and said, well, this stuff belongs to the... No, it doesn't. It belongs to me. And he sent... They weren't trying to take it, but they just want to know the origin of it. And so I said, they sent a city attorney over. And I said, I bought it at Christie's auction. That's a big highfalutin auction up north. And so they went to Christie's, because Christie's sent me an email saying, to release the information, we have to have your approval. And I said, sure. Surely they don't think I was around in 1900. So anyway, I advise everybody to go through that. It's free. One of the last few things you can do free here in city or county. And you can learn a lot of stuff. So, and we're going to talk about the old courthouse next week. And that's the third courthouse. So, anyway, that's something neat. I'm trying to get everybody to try to start thinking about going back to Botanical Gardens. Gosh, it's beautiful. People say, well, I was going until they started charging. Hey, I got news for people. It ain't nothing free. Somewhere somebody's paying for it. So, but if you just absolutely have to have it free, go to the public library, Fort Worth Public Library, and they will give you a pass, I think, that lasts up to a week to go to the Botanical Gardens. But we've got, I mean, it's beautiful. So we don't patronize our own local stuff. You'd be amazed at how many people have never been in Billy Bob's. And I can tell you that for a fact, this museum, I'm going to start on a campaign. We got to get something done about this museum. We've got to find a bigger building. We've got to get this stuff categorized. A bunch of this stuff, if I was to pass today, some people, probably the majority of the people, wouldn't even know what it was or what part it played in Fort Worth. So we get people that donate to the Modern Museum, the Carter Museum, all these museums. There's none of them, except this one, that is strictly about Fort Worth and Tarrant County. And I can promise you, if I was to pass today, this would be on a Christie's auction. My kids would piecemeal it. And it'd be a large one, because there's over 95,000 pieces. But stuff that's one-of-a-kind stuff that can't be duplicated. So somebody's going to have to step up to the plate. We've taken care of the bicycle giveaway. It'll go on now forever. But I've devoted my entire life in the 80s, to preserving Fort Worth and Tarrant County history. And I'm blessed with a photographic memory, so anything I've ever read or seen since about age 8, I can recall to the minute. So after everything's categorized, then we need to do a recording and me doing a short explanation of, not every piece. Photos are self-explanatory, but we've got things. The M&O subway, everybody talks about that. That was the largest privately owned longest privately owned subway in the world. Trainmaster Control is right here. Paul Leonard donated it to this museum. There's, just numerous things that you can't duplicate. I bought so many things off the Carter heirs, maybe not the Carters, Minnie Meacham Carter's heirs, that it's not. I've got all of his Christmas cards from 1950 to 1954. The Tsar of Russia. Amen was known worldwide. Nobody knows that history, or they don't talk it. And that's all we've got is our history. So once I got on this commission, which I'm so thankful to Manny Ramirez for nominating me or appointing me. The only way you can get on it is to be appointed by one of the 4 commissioners or the county judge, which is Tim O'Hare. But I'm going to do everything I can to somehow we've got to start teaching history to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. I don't care how we do it, but we got to start doing it. Because we raise our kids here, we send them to little school, middle school, high school, they go off to college and they just don't come back. And that's a shame. We're missing the boat. We've got some great minds here. But the history of Cowtown, I can't say is more colorful than anywhere else, because I don't care about anywhere else. But I can guarantee you we got a colorful past. Some good, some bad, but it was all a part of our growing and becoming the 11th largest city in the United States, 15th largest county, and we will soon be the 10th largest city. And we've got a lot of city leaders, mayor, city council, county commissioners. They all have their own ideas of how we should move forward. People always talk, they get upset if I'm doing a live and talk politics. Politics is your life, it's your future, it's your kids' future, grandkids. I'm not saying you have to get on and start campaigning, and we don't allow political posts on the group, on the big group. But the people, the million people that are here should have a say-so too. There's no statues, no plaques, no nothing honoring the boxers that came out of Fort Worth, that continue to come out of Fort Worth. We had 5 world champions come out of a little old gym over on Hemphill Street. There's no city in the maybe in the world, there's no city in the world that can say that. The Kronk Gym in Detroit, they had a lot of boxers, named boxers that would train there a short period of time before they fought. This one, they trained all the time. That was their home gym. When Don Curry was the undisputed champion, Jim Wright, Mike Moncrief, every politician, hey, we got to get a picture with him. Take him out to Ranger Stadium. They stopped the game to honor Don Curry. Well, I can tell you right now, he's at a All-American Inn over in the northeast part of the county and lives on whatever he gets Social Security and benefits. And they've all, in some form, have CTE. Your head's not designed to get hit 10,000 times. So, but we don't do anything to honor him. Mary Keys Gibson, we found her, we discovered her, first African-American nurse to have a nursing certificate in the United States in 17, not the total United States, in 17 states in the South. She lived right here in Fort Worth. Until we brought it to everybody's attention and got Betsy to do a proclamation, nobody even knew about her. I was excited when TCU started their medical stuff. They came down here and I said, please honor Mary Keys, do a nursing program or something. Nobody does nothing. So, a forgotten part of history is what grows closer to being permanently forgotten every day, because we don't talk about it. So somebody is going to have to step up. I don't know how you're going to do it. I've done the work. I've spent tons of money in 40 years. I've captured it. I didn't let it get away. But it's got to be in a bigger building. It'll have to be a pay museum. But I guarantee you, I have the stuff to be the biggest drawing card, one of the biggest drawing cards of any museum in this city. You know, the Carter Museum, hey, it's great. It honors Amon Carter. This museum doesn't have any Remingtons or Rembrandts or nice art or this or that. It's got the nuts and bolts of Fort Worth and Tarrant County. The stuff that working people can relate to. So, at some point, we need to get something going. So, people are going to have to start putting their noggins together. Get a hold of me. Let's talk about it. I'm open to anything. But it'll take years to do, and I'm not going to live forever, I promise you. That's one thing that we're all going to do is meet our maker. This museum is so small, it's hard to give tours of more than a handful of people at a time, and there's no way possible to display anywhere near all the stuff. There's 6,400 pieces in 2 rooms, and I've got over 95,000. I'm looking at a big diploma from the Fort Worth University that was here from 1880s until 1911. They left when TCU came. There's only 9 known diplomas, and I own them all. 80% of the people, probably 90% of Fort Worthians that's lived here, don't know what Fort Worth University was. They had a medical program you could get a degree in and a law degree. And they were here before TCU. While I'm talking about it, Kevin Foster is a good friend of ours. He's a member of the group. He writes books. He has a lot to do with the memorial down on the 7th for our first responders. But this is a book that he just wrote, Fort Worth Cops, The Inside Stories. Where is the camera? And he's got pictures and all kinds of stuff. And Kevin's very knowledgeable. We're going to have him on the show. I talked to him yesterday. Here's another one, Fort Worth's Fallen Officers, 1873 to 2024. These are great books. You buy them on Amazon. Here it says, Kevin was a peace officer for the state of Texas with more than 45 years in law enforcement in Fort Worth and Tarrant County. He retired from the police department. Then he ran the TCU police for years. And he's just a great guy, very knowledgeable. He's like Bud Kennedy. You ask him a question, he don't have to think about it. He knows the answer. Some of these police officers, I might not have known them personally, but I knew their family. Randall Fletcher was run over on I-35 in the 70s. His father was J.C. Fletcher, who was a good customer of mine. He was a wholesaler, auto wholesaler, but he also owned the Richelieu Bar and Grill downtown. I'm telling you, I've never had stew like they had it, and their chili was good. Dub's in, James is in. We're eating at Blue Goose Cantina on University, right in front of me here. 1 o'clock Saturday, tomorrow. Where is what? I've got 10, I've really got 12 climatic controlled storage warehouses that cost thousands of dollars a year, lots of thousands, to house that stuff. That's what I say. It'd take a building, I would think 5,000 square foot. We could fill it up instantly. So, somebody that's knowledgeable about how to put this thing together, we need to step up. I'm sure some of the board members on Larry's Kids have an idea, but we need to start thinking about how to get it into action. It'll take years to put it together. I don't know, we could do a GoFundMe for Fort Worth Memories Museum. I guess we could make it a non-profit. At some point, something's going to have to be compensated to me, because I'm the one that spent all the money, millions. But anyway, something to think about. Let's do the sponsors. Be sure and go to that tour of the 1895 courthouse Saturday from 12:30 to 3:30, and you're going to need to get somebody probably to haul you down there, because that Main Street Arts Fest is going to have all the parking spots full. But we need to see a big crowd down there. I'm now on the Tarrant County Historical Commission, one of 18 people, and so I'm going to start plugging everything that we do over there in front of y'all. Okay, we're starting with Winstead Paint and Body. Clay Winstead is the owner now, he and his wife. I've done business with the Winsteads way before Clay was involved with them, his family. But they are located on White Settlement Road, just past, a block past Roberts Cutoff. Scott Sumner is our IT guru. He can build you a website or any kind of consultation work. And he's a lot cheaper than probably anybody you can find. Alpha Design and Build is Lance Sanders. They do commercial and residential. They can remodel your house or your building, or put a second story on it. Fort Worth Florist Jeanette and her team, they've been around a long time. They're a phone call away, 817-244-2345. Dickie Carr is the owner of Grateful for Your Trees. He is Richard Carr's nephew. I've interviewed him 2 or 3 times. These guys do everything to do with trees. Cut them down, trim them, grind the tree stumps down. Look at all that stuff. Landscape, fence, all types of haul off, demolition. He does it all. He's in his 30s, very energetic. Just give him a call and he'll instantly get a hold of you. G2 Garage is in the White Settlement area. Chris and his team out there, they're always running specials, giving a discount to get people in the door. But they do great work. They take care of you. They don't put you off forever like a lot of these mechanic shops. Then we also have Feltz Family Auto Care. They're in the Burleson area. I've never had anybody that had anything but great things to say about Mike Feltz and his family. I've interviewed them. Great people. Stroud Auto Supply. Danny Stroud and his wife, they're the second generation, because I bought parts there when I was 16, so that was when his dad had it. And it's very rare to see an independent auto supply store when you've got all of these national chains. Swartz and Hanson, Jerry Swartz, and his partner, Mr. Hanson, are our architectural sponsors, and they're very active, have been for years in the bicycle giveaway. Rex's Bar and Grill is probably the premier sports bar I know in this county, maybe in the state. I'd hate to think how much Rex spent on that thing. They got a TV in there. The only one I've ever seen bigger is the one at Texas Stadium. Tri-State Dent is Jason and his team. If you got door dings, hail damage, any of that, they come to you. They'll make the deal with you, and they'll help you if they can on the deductible. They're great folks. Casey Crawl, Medicare and Medicaid. That's all they do. They're experts at it. If you try to navigate through that deal, you'll be sick. Call Casey Crawl and they'll come to you. You can go to them or they'll meet you in between. Rains Plumbing, that's a family-owned business. Last week we had 3 of our members use their services, and all of our reviews on them have been good. If we get a bad review on any of our sponsors, I post it. Here's the man of the hour, Charlie Guerin, currently down in Austin. He's our state rep. He's on the board of directors of Larry's Kids. Very active in the bicycle giveaway. He's not one of the politicians, and I'm not saying there is any, that come to our deal. A lot of politicians go to the events to get a photo op. The ones that come to our deal, they help give away bikes. Last year we had Mike Moncrief, Betsy Price, and Maddie Parker, and they all 3 worked. Along with Carlos Flores, Michael Crane, Charlie Guerin, Brooke Rollins, who had a birthday yesterday, is our agricultural secretary. She's been there now for the last 3 years. So we've got a great nucleus in our board. When I selected the board members, it wasn't out of friendship or anything like that. It was because I thought they could bring bikes or money. That's all I'm interested in. I don't care if you're what race you are, what political party you are, sexual orientation, I don't care. All of that's out the door when you hit Farrington Field. It's about helping our kids. This year's goal is 1,400 bikes. Last year it was 1,200 bikes. We got to 1,120. So, good morning. So we need your help. We need volunteers. I post the board of directors. I need to start doing it every day. You can get a hold of any of our board members or myself. You can reach Lindsay. She's our comptroller, but any of our board members or myself or Lindsay, Kyle, Colin, Manny Ramirez, we're never too busy to talk about Larry's Kids. This year, we will go over 20,000 bikes since it started in the 80s. And at $50 a bike, that's over $1 million worth of bicycles right here in Cowtown, Texas. So be part of something that's really special. A bike is so important to a child. I know because I never had one. I asked for one year and got a broken jaw. So one of the things my dad that I can say that I'm proud of, he taught me to never give up and fight for people that need some help. And that's what I've been doing since the 80s. So you know how you feel when you got your driver's license or your first car or first apartment, went to college. Same thing for a kid with a bicycle. That's theirs. That's part of them. It's not mom and dad's or the kid down the street. So help us out. I had a Uber driver brought 3 elderly ladies last year They each gave me a $5 bill. That $5 bill was as important to me as somebody that gave us $5,000, because that's all they had to give. But they wanted to be part of it. So, and even if you can't give, you can pray for us. But we need volunteers out there. Like I say, we put everybody's a family out there. After we leave there, we might be on different sides of the fence about something politically or this or that. Cowboy fans or Kansas City fans. But on December 13th of 2025, it's all about the kids. Okay, moving right along. I get on these tangents. Optimist Club of Fort Worth, Jeff Norman. I had him on live 3 or 4 Saturdays ago. He tells us all the great stuff that they do for our youth, boys and girls. And that's an international organization. As we are an international organization, we've got members that are active in 138 countries. And I looked last week, our active members that are deployed or military is 27 or 28,000. And we're in every state in the United States and 138 countries. We've got a large presence in Tel Aviv, Israel. Okay, another Rex Benson owned company, Old South Pancake House, that has been in the Benson family since 1962. I actually did work for Mr. Benson, Dave Benson, Rex's daddy. Fantastic person. The one on University is open 24/7. You can get breakfast all day or all night. The one in Burleson, that's only 2 or 3 years old, they close at 9 or 10 at night, whatever it is. But go check them out. And check out, when you pull into the 1500 block of South University, both of those buildings, or both of those businesses are owned by Rex Benson. Rex's Bar and Grill and Old South Pancake House. Jenny Stewart is our insurance sponsor. She's an insurance lady with State Farm. I just had Brittany call me yesterday or sent me a message. She switched. I'm asking people, just call. If you use Farmers or Allstate or Freeway or whoever, just call Jenny's team. If they can save you money and you get the same coverage, that's what it's all about. She's also running for City Council District 9. She's a nice lady. I've talked to her, interviewed them. Good people. How do I always get this thing going the wrong way? No, I'm going right now. Scott switches this thing up and I go the wrong way. Cross Electric, Brandon Cross. They got nominated as DFW's favorites. I've had a lot of good reviews. I posted their stuff the other day. Our commissioner, Manny Ramirez, immediately chimed in and said that he uses them, and I guess the county uses them. So, Brandon Cross, Cross Electric. Don't mess with that electricity on your own, it'll kill you. K-Ranch Roofing. Jorge Hernandez is the owner. They'll come out and inspect your roof for free. With all these high winds, and he's done a ton of roofs over the years for our members. I mean, a bunch. Never had a complaint. So you call one of those numbers and you'll get Bree. She is the office manager. She'll set up a time when one of their specialists can come out that's good for you and good for them. And they'll let you know if there's any damage. Fort Worth Lumber. Emily and her team over there have been involved in everything I've done since I've been on Facebook. 12, 14 years. Bicycle giveaway, sponsorship. Great folks. So if you need building materials, plans, just go out there and ask questions. They're ready, willing, and able. Steve Coburn, Coburn's Catering. They're on North Main. Back in the Well, they've been there since 1946. Back in the early 60s or mid 60s, one of my uncles owned a anodizing plant over there. And so as a kid, I'd walk. I didn't have a car, so I'd walk to Coburn's cafeteria and eat. I ate there every day for like 3 years. Here's the man of the hour, Dickie Carr, Pat and Richard Carr. Second generation. Dickie Carr was Richard's father. When we made the bike giveaway a nonprofit, the first $5,000 check we got was from Pat and Richard Carr. Wonderful people. They're involved in a lot of stuff in our community. Happy to be able to say they're my friends. A-Bird AC and Heating. Dub Peacock, I'm sure he's probably on the feed right now. And he is one of the Peacock boys from Poly. Those guys were, I don't know if it's famous or infamous. My brothers, we fought them. You had to fight every one of those guys. There were 7 of them. But they're great people. Mike used to come in he played a lot of golf, and they'd eat over here at Old South, and he'd drop his Cadillac off, and we'd detail it. Great people. So if you've got any issues, heat or air, or you don't know, hey, does my unit need to be serviced? Call them up, let them come out and check it out. Because if you have to replace it, you're going to have to go get a bank loan. Them things are expensive. I replaced mine, I guess 10 years ago, and I had to get a bank. I didn't have to get a bank loan, but it broke me. Eric Walsh. I have not known Eric but about 2 years. He was the guy that called me and said, Larry, Eric Walsh. And I said, yes, sir. I knew who he was because his brother-in-law friend was John Green, and a very, very great guy. John's been gone now a long time. I think of him often. They were co-brother-in-laws, but Eric said, Larry, I got to be on that board. I can help. I said, you just signed up. And boy, he didn't let us down. He's always, whatever we needed done, Eric said, I can do it. So he's in the real estate business, but he's a wonderful person, cares about the kids. He's a father himself, family man. We've got a bunch of great people on that board, and he's one of them. So if you need real estate stuff, call Eric. He's a great guy. Yellow Snake Horses, Brazos River Ranch. Say that 5 times backwards. If you go down Interstate 20, you drive about an hour and you get to Millsap, and you turn off, and she owns 200 acres on the Brazos. You can ride for 2 hours on a horse for $75. And I mean, they stay busy with people signing up. You do not have to be a seasoned horseback rider. Call them. 469-363-2658. Who have I left out? Nobody? Yes, we have Dana J. Long. And Scott's had medical problems. He should have her business card up. I'm going to look at the top to make sure that she isn't already added. She's a realtor. One of her companies is called Dana, D-A-N-A, Dana Sells Cowtown. Now, but Scott promised me he'll have our stuff revamped over the weekend. Okay, so don't forget, if you're going to the tour of the 1895 courthouse, which I encourage everybody, it's free and you can learn a little bit of history. It's a fabulous building. Uh, 12:30 to 3:30. I will not be there. Saturdays are always, we had the lunch club meeting, and then I go to 2 or 3 of the, I call them old folks homes, because I'm old folk. People call them retirement center, this or that. And I do that just to stay connected. Some people that live in those, they don't ever get out. They don't ever go anywhere, and they love the stories, and that's what I am. I'm a storyteller. There's very few questions that I can't answer. I did a Zoom history last night for the Zoom lesson was about an hour and 15 minutes, and then I did a Q&A for 45 minutes. It was a 2-hour deal. I didn't miss one, and I didn't hesitate. It's got to be about Fort Worth or Tarrant County. Now, I have been asked stuff that I didn't know the answer. Yesterday was Brooke's birthday, so give her a belated birthday. She's a wonderful lady. I don't care which side of the track you're on. She's the agricultural secretary. She's from Glen Rose, Texas. Before we elected the current president, there was a lot of people talking about the Republican Party or Conservative Party did not have any strong women. How wrong were they? You can look right here in our little cow patch. Maddie Parker, Hyco, Texas. Brooke Rollins, Glen Rose, Texas. Both wonderful, wonderful ladies. They care about the citizens, and that's what, in my book, that counts a whole bunch. So Brooke has been, last year was the 3rd year she had been involved in her bicycle giveaway, and I've got photos to prove it. Brooke, Maddie, Mike Moncrief, he really loved it. Charlie Guerin is always there. And Betsy. I don't see how Betsy gets on that. Of course, she's known for bicycle riding, but she did a little riding one of those tricycles last year, and I've got it filmed. Betsy's very, very active in all things Fort Worth. So we're blessed that we've got a lot of good ladies. And I'll say this while I'm talking about ladies, Kay Granger. I don't care what anybody says. She was my world history teacher. She's through the roof. Anybody that wants to cut down or put down somebody that has a cognitive issue, our ex-president, I did not, when Trump talked bad about him, that's wrong. It can happen to every single one of us. So keep Kay Granger in your prayers. She did a lot of stuff for Fort Worth. Her and I have been on the same platform together. We've had differences of opinion. I still love her. Like I say, I quit going to school in the 10th grade. They graduated me only because they were scared of Pop. But I asked her one time, I said, the entire football team had her for split lunch. Y'all remember? You started the class and then lunch break and then you came back. And I said, Kay, I never came back. I don't think any of us did. She said, neither did I. And I said, but you passed us. She said that was before no pass, no play. She's a wonderful person. She's done a lot of stuff for Fort Worth. You can say what you want. You can get upset about me. I say what I feel. And this isn't just did she really do a lot for Fort Worth? Hell yeah, she did. I mean, a ton. So you'll never see me downplaying the ex-president. Whether you liked what he did or not, he was the president of the United States. You need to respect that office. And his mental problems, that could happen to anyone that's listening to me right now. And I don't think you're going to want people talking about you either. So get involved in your community. get involved in stuff in Fort Worth. There's all kinds of things that we can do. We're always wanting to cut down Fort Worth ISD. Call Fort Worth ISD and find out, hey, what can I do as a citizen to help? I'm retired, I'm mobile. What can I do? Well, you can go read to some of these kids. There's a lot of things that you can do that don't cost money. It'll take some of your time. And if we all don't start working together and quit fighting and quit arguing, we're leaving this country, this world, to not as good as we got it. I've been telling people for years, not your parents, but your grandparents, they weren't whiners, they weren't complainers, they just got it done. If times were tough, hey, we just knuckle together, get together. I remember my good grandfather saying, well, during the Depression, 2 parts of our family had to move into one house because they couldn't support 2 houses. People just did what it took to make things work instead of complaining and whining and all of this. Robert Rivera's in. Robert, you and Connie need to come eat. We're eating at Blue Goose Cantina University. In fact, I think y'all were there last time we ate there. Their prices are not bad. It's 10 to 20. So, Fred's, they're building it. Quincy's posted pictures. I think it's in the Crowley area. So that'll be Quincy's. Fred's on Camp Bowie Boulevard West. The one on 35 going towards Denton. And now this one in Crowley. He's building it from scratch, it looks like. No, the one on Curry is closed. That's when he moved to Camp Bowie Boulevard West, out there about Altamira. It's the old Steak and Ale. And then it was Buffalo West. But Quincy and them have made a home of that thing. We've eaten out there many times. Service is great. All of our restaurants, service is great. John Bonnell, all of that team downtown. We've got some restaurants now. We need to have the Cowboy Chef. What's his name? I've had him on several times. God, I can't think of his name. Drawing a blank. He's had several different restaurants. I think he goes under Cowboy Chef. I don't think he's got a restaurant now. Alright, I'm drawing a blank. Who is it? That says Kent Rollins. Grady Spears. I've had Grady on many times. I think he's about 100 miles from here or something. They had a ranch or something down there. He was one of the original name brand chefs. Okay, I'm going to let y'all get back to your coffee or whatever. Don't forget, treat everybody with respect. We can change the world, but it's got to start in your own heart. You got to be willing to give. I mean, it's just the bottom line. You know, the way military, our soldiers, they stick together like glue. That's the way our community needs to do. We need to get behind whatever the issues are and take care of them. But in my book, it's the kids. There's a lot of people go after a lot of things. My deal is the kids and history. And you're talking about a kid that came from the wrong side of the track, should have been in the penitentiary, done stuff that's not forgivable, family reputation horrible. But I made it out. One thing my dad did on that Boxing at Cowtown group that we've got, some of y'all probably don't even know about that group. But I'll show you the header, the main page, view the cover. That's me in the plaid shorts. They weren't even boxing shorts. My mom bought those pair of shorts for 25 cents on a Leonard's clearance sale. 5 years old, I started fighting. I've been fighting ever since. That's the only good thing my dad done for me, was told me to stand up and fight. And I fought him many times. So anyway, I will see y'all on a break. I'm going to start posting our bicycle giveaway stuff. We've got to get on top of it. You people that are corporate sponsors, is what I call them, people that write big checks, we need the money. Because if we see a sale or something where we can buy 1,000 bikes at $10 off what we usually get cheap anyway, that's a lot of money. We've got to find a way to store these bikes. Kyle and his realty group, they've got buildings that we've used in the past, but if somebody said in July, like Academy, Kevin out at Academy on Cherry Lane, that's where you need to shop. We bought 800 bikes from them last year, and they gave us a tremendous deal. But I asked Lindsay if she would call, or Kyle, or Colin, somebody, and say, hey, look, we're going to buy 1,000 bikes from you. What's the best deal you can do? And we'll pay you up front, but we don't want the bikes until December 3rd or 4th. And let them store it. But go ahead and pay for them, have them bought, and then, because storage of those bikes, 1,200, 1,300 bikes, it takes a huge building. So if somebody's got a building out there that they're not using, or put your noggins together and figure out how we can do that. But if you haven't been contacted by one of our board members or myself, be expecting it, because we expect everybody to be involved. And what's a better deal than spending a couple of $100 and get a couple of bikes? We don't need the little bikes. We'll get them anyway. We need 24s, 26s. We always run out of the big bikes. And we need volunteers. Saturday, December 13th, Farrington Field. Volunteers need to be there between 5:30 and 6 in the morning. The gates will open somewhere around 7. The All Saints baseball kids will again move our inventory. Those young men do a fabulous job. They've done it for years. When Kyle's son, Jackson, first became involved in the bicycle giveaway, he was 8 or 9 years old. He's now a sophomore at Texas A&M. And he cares about the kids, the giveaway. So last year we had a couple of grandmothers that brought their grandkids. They wanted them to see. Not everybody has food in the refrigerator and lights on and this, that, and the other. So we need to be cognitive of that. How can you help? You can call me. I'll tell you how you can help. People that run these HOAs, get your HOA together. Y'all make Larry's kids your project this year. Same thing with people in office buildings. If there's 10 of y'all down there, each of you throw $100 in the kitty, go buy 10 bikes. Believe me, you'll feel better. And if you really want to feel better, come and volunteer. People say, why do you say that? I don't have to worry about selling you next year. You'll see it firsthand. Bring plenty of handkerchiefs with you. We have a good time out there. The photos you see of our volunteers are people are smiling. Of course, everybody smiles when you get your picture taken anyway. But to watch those volunteers work as those cars pull up and people are actually begging for more than one bike. I've got 3 kids. I don't have any money. Yeah, I mean, it's sad. It's a happy, sad day. And we don't ever run out of kids, so if we get 1,400 bikes, believe me, there'll be people that missed out. So we don't ever run out of kids. I want to thank Fort Worth ISD for allowing us. This is the 4th or 5th year at Fort Worth at Farrington. I hope that y'all can. I need to get with Lindsay to talk to the Fort Worth ISD athletic people. We need that big marquee that's on University, for maybe 5 days, 6 days before the giveaway. And one of our sponsors, the Optimist Club, they sell trees on the front side. We give away bikes on the back side. This event has brought a lot of community people together. I see Democrats and Republicans out there giving these bikes away. And that's what it's about. It's about the kids, because they're our biggest commodity. They're our future. We've all been down the road a few times. One of my family, Larry, you've talked enough. Shut up. Go do something else. Okay. I got the message. I love talking to y'all. Y'all have a wonderful morning. Don't forget Blue Goose Cantina tomorrow at 1. Go to the Arts Fest downtown. Try to figure out a ride situation or Uber down there. I bet Uber's going to be 3 times the price. The tour of the 1895 courthouse. Please go down and learn something. We're going to talk a lot of that next week. I've got pictures you've never seen. Okay, remember that we are a community, and our best bet to change everything is to show respect for everybody. You might not agree with them, but